Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, indeed.
Seems like he's trying to take our job doing all these interviews and stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, we have R&B singer Tank.
Tank.
I'm not trying to take your job.
You're doing a phenomenal job
Yes,
with
you
the
are.
R&B Money
No.
podcast.
Yes, you are.
I am just catering to my people.
Very
Okay.
well.
I'm making sure that my community has a place to go, that the conversation is bridged from the old to the new.
I love it.
You know what I love about the R&B Money podcast? There's always so many hip-hop podcasts. And, you know, the rappers got a place to go. The OG rappers got a place to go. R&B Money has created that space for the R&B world.
I love
And
it.
now the, you know, not too much disclosure, but now the R&B Music Awards.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Tell us about it. What do you mean?
You guys have a dedicated hip-hop, not you. Hip-hop has a dedicated award show.
Right.
Whereas the R&B dedicated award show so that we can cover the entire gambit of R&B. R&B is so many things. It's so vast. You can't cover it in 2 to 3 categories at some award show and think that that's going to do it all justice.
Oh, I
So-
want to hear about
So
this
what
now.
month that's
what
coming
did it?
out?
So yeah,
Are you creating this?
I want to know the
Yeah,
category.
Tell us.
As
Yeah.
an R&B icon like you are, what are the categories of R&B? Because all we think is R&B.
Well, I mean, let's do this, right? Let's go soul, right? Let's go progressive.
Do you do ballads?
Huh?
Ballads?
What do you mean ballads?
Slow.
I mean, what do you mean? Make
Slow
it a
like ballads,
category?
slow music. Yeah, categories. Do you do R&B ballads?
No, I don't think you do ballads, but I think you get into the songwriter aspect of it, the producer aspect of it, even the performance aspect of it. You know,
Yes.
all of these things are so different. Like a Jill Scott is way different from
Summer Walker.
from a Summer Walker.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It's way different.
Yeah.
A Calvin Richardson is way different from Chris Brown.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so how do we create these tiers and levels to where all of the nuances of R&B can be recognized?
Give me an example of progressive.
Oh, CB is progressive
Okay.
completely. Like
Gotcha.
he's the current state of R&B music.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Even if we want to say what Drake and Party just did, you know what I mean? That's very progressive R&B. You know what I mean? If you want to say what is more traditional, I'm more in the middle of a traditional progressive R&B artist. Because I can do a record with Chris Brown, but you know I can also do a record with God Rest Her Soul and Angie Stone.
See, I like
You know
the
what I mean?
traditional. And I said that when the Party and Drake album dropped. I was like, that ain't for me. And they was like, well, you know, it's for the ladies because it's R&B. I'm like, no, guys like R&B. I just don't like that type of R&B.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's a difference, and so we have not had the conversation about all of these things together. We just say best R&B album, and then you got Chris Brown in a same category with Robert Glasper. It's like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you do that? We're not all just one thing.
So when are you doing this? Is it thought out to that where it's going to happen?
It's been
in the works?
great conversations. You know what I mean? Me and my brother Jay Valentine, we've actually had this conversation with Jesse Collins, and so you know, all of this what I'm doing right now is just kind of creating the anticipation and the desire, and hopefully enough comments will come and people will see the value, because that's where it starts. People have to see the value in what we do in order to create this next level platform.
Well, don't leave Black Effect and iHeart out the conversation. You know, iHeart known to put together a good award show.
Well, what do you want to do?
I want to help with the R&B Money Award show. That'd be fantastic.
There you go.
Done.
Mm-hmm.
See how that
We
works?
can exclusively
Done.
announce the categories and the nominations
Absolutely.
right
already
now.
wrote them down.
Like we need a Babyface award, right?
Lifetime Achievement Award.
Which is the songwriter and producer,
Okay.
Wow.
right?
You need a Michael Jackson
Right.
award?
There's one. They need a Michael Jackson award,
Can Chris
which
Brown
is
do the tribute?
ultimate performance,
Yep.
like, right? We need a Smokey Robinson award, which is just the writer, right? We need a. I can't
Stevie Wonder.
I can't take writer out of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis because they write it too. But right, you need a standalone producer award, right? All of these things are so different. And we don't get an opportunity to highlight them. But all of these awards need names from our legends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The R&B Label Award, the Motown Award, where who's
Quincy
the
Jones.
dedicated R&B label? That's R&B money. That's what we're doing, right? So it's all of these things that we need to now highlight now that R&B is having this big conversation, right?
I want to know, how is it for you, right? Knowing all these R&B stories, right? And I'm watching your podcast, and I know you know the answers, but some of these times it hasn't been put out there, and you're just feeding the person, right? Like I look at Stephen Hill with the Chris Brown situation.
Yeah.
You're leading him because you knew what happened, but making him explain the story was amazing.
I didn't know what happened.
Really?
I didn't even know he was part of it. I knew from Chris's side that they got him all the way to the point of where
It was about to happen.
it was about to happen and then pulled the rug out from under him. I didn't know the intimate details and who all was involved. And hearing Steven is like, you know, he loves
He's an
that.
empath.
Yeah.
He loves it. He felt like he was getting ready to create one of the most iconic moments of all time. And he was.
Looking for that rehearsal? Jesus.
Oh, he was.
He was.
And it hurt him that now he, you know, has to go back and tell CB that it's not happening. You know what I mean? Like that crushed him more than anything. And he was like, man, if you could ever talk to him, just let him know I love him. I wanted that for him. They pulled it from me. Nothing I could do.
I was going to ask, did you put them on the phone after that? Because he said in your interview that he hadn't gotten a chance. Well, he wanted to see him in person to apologize and stuff like that. So
No, we
did
didn't.
they
We didn't
figure
get a
that
chance
out?
to make that happen. No.
Okay.
But I'd love to make that happen for him.
Another one of my favorite R&B Money podcasts recently was the L.A. Reid episode. Like he really sparked a real conversation, and it just had me thinking about, yes, you need Black boutique everything. You need that.
We need to be able to operate the way we operate. Just let us do what we do. Like even with what you guys do. You guys do what you do, which is why it is what it is. There's nobody micromanaging or policing you. You get your paycheck, whatever that is, but it's because of how you do your thing. Nobody's interrupting that, which is why it's how many years in the making?
15.
15.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had no control of that. You know what I mean? Imagine you being subject to somebody else's ideas, somebody else's, and then you lose with that. That hurts worse than anything. I lost listening to you. No, I'm going to go down with me.
Word.
I'm going to go down with me. And that's what we've lost. We've lost the people that have done it from here. I just believe, like, think about D'Angelo's Untitled. If somebody just doesn't say, I just feel like this is different, they never get to the third single, which is a life-changing record. We don't have that no more. Our analytics say, we're losing here. We're done. We're going to move on.
Right.
Well, how does it feel? Wasn't his third single, was it? How does it feel was the third single? The butt naked video was his third single? Wow. I did not know that.
How do we not get to that?
I did not
One
know
of the
that.
greatest songs
Wow.
of all times.
I did not know that. Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Genuine So Anxious. If Jomo doesn't say, we got to get to this one. We got to get to this one. This one right here is going to change it. Trust me. Maybe I Deserve was my second single.
Wow.
If we were just going off of first singles, I'm not even going to name the first song I had out, but I was dancing and shit and flipping and blowing up.
You
shit.
flipping?
Yeah.
What was Tank for a second?
Yeah,
Look at
I was looking
I
at
remember, because I remember Maybe I Deserve.
I shouldn't have brought that up.
When you said it, I just heard the song. Like,
Freaky?
no, maybe
Oh,
I
shit, I said
deserve.
it out loud. Yeah, Maybe I
Oh,
Deserve.
you
was the first
you were wait. Okay. This,
My first single was called Freaky.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And it almost destroyed my career
Who
before
picked
it
that
even
single?
started. Huh?
The label?
The label picked it, but I was very excited about it as well.
When I Googled it, it said, a
My
song
Freak?
many have missed is his actual first single, Freaky, which came out first and has pretty much become obscure today.
Obscure.
God damn.
When's the last time you performed that? Never?
I was performing the song. I was on promo tour, Fort Valley State Homecoming. And I'm coming out. I got my freaky interlude. They want to get freaky. And then the song starts. And like right in the middle of the first hook, these two little cute girls in the first row was like, whack. I was like, and this was in the DAT tape era. So I couldn't stop it.
You had to let it go all the way
I had to
through.
do the whole song.
Damn.
And I sweated the rest of the song. And I never sang that song again.
Damn.
I said, don't put it on the album. Erase it. Get rid of this song. And we did a hard turn, cut the single, went to Maybe I Deserve. Thank God.
Wow.
And the rest is history.
Rest is history.
Yo, that's very interesting because I don't know whether I think it's the labels not doing their jobs. Like, I don't think they don't care about the music like they used to. I don't think labels care about music
Their
like they used
jobs
to.
have changed, though.
Like, what was your first budget for your first album? Like, it was a thing to get signed to a record deal.
I'll tell you like this. There was a budget. There was a number in the contract. But again, I'm boutique. So they're like, well, let's just keep going till we get it because we can't lose.
Yeah.
Like, at that time in terms of earners, it was Aaliyah, God rest her soul. She was making the bank for all of us, right? In order for us to have budgets, Aaliyah was funding us.
Mm-hmm.
So, we were in a position where we couldn't lose. So Barry wasn't gonna let me lose. Nah, let's go to the next one. I spent $400,000 on my first, $400,000 or $500,000 on my first video. Then I spent another $700 on the next one. Like, this is what was happening. We blew up an actual building. Like, we were running out of the building, and slowly the building blew up behind us. We had to dive onto a mattress. Don't turn your phones on because you might kill the artist. That's what's missing. But you see the difference in between the people that are still doing that. You still see Chris Brown spending real money to make real videos. You still see Beyonce spending real money to make real videos. You still see Drake spending real money to make real videos. That's the difference. That's why they're in arenas. That's why they're in stadiums, all of these things. So we just need that level of belief and that level of investment in order to get it back to where it's supposed to be. Like, look at movies. How much money they spend on promo?
Yeah.
They put it on TV. They put it. They're doing it in before other movies are coming on. They're out on the streets on the buses. Like, we've lost all of that, but they still want the same result. It's not how that works.
Absolutely, man. You're so right. I mean, I'm learning that too. Just dibbling and dabbling in the movie world. But you're right. It's like, yo, if they'll spend money to promote a film, these labels will just be like, put it online. Literally, just throw it online.
The truth.
You can't tell a movie. You can't tell the people that are putting out the Wolverine. You know what I'm saying?
Just throw it in theaters. Yeah, you're right.
We're gonna just use our socials.
Yeah,
and we're gonna use our socials and hopefully go viral, and see what happens.
Not with all this money we spent. No, you're right. Yeah,
we're trying to guarantee ourselves a return, right? Low visibility is going to get you low results. Just is what it is.
Does that ever change, though?
Again, we got to get back to this boutique space where, we're allotted the budgets and the freedom to do it the way we know how to do it. We come from the street team era. We come from passing out 10,000 flyers. You know what I'm saying? Bus stops, buses. You know what I mean? Commercials. We used to run commercials on BET. Actual commercials. Where's all that? It's gone, but you still want the same results. There are outliers where those things can happen, but R&B is not completely a viral genre. Now the residuals challenge, I mean, that's a thing.
But that's just fun, though.
It starts out fun, but then you tap into what's really out there, right? And so now what we're able to see is, oh shit, look at how many R&B singers, songwriters, and producers are just waiting in the wings for an opportunity that are really, really dope.
Did you feel any guilt enjoying R. Kelly's residual?
Yeah, what was your thought of it?
Did I feel guilt in enjoying it?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows that I've always been an R. Kelly fan. They know I've always, I was raised in trying to be R&B coming out of my gospel space. Babyface, R. Kelly, Brian McKnight, like those were my study guides. So no, I didn't feel a way enjoying it. I couldn't.
He's talented.
He's talented. I couldn't grab it and post it on my page and say new R. Kelly. I couldn't do that. You know what I mean? I got Hell's Kitchen to promote. You know what I mean? And I think it's tough because a lot of people have been in my comments saying why you ain't post the R. Kelly thing, And I'm like, guys, why do I have to insert myself into that back and forth?
Yeah.
Right. You know what I thought? Listening to R. Kelly, he still sounds good as shit, right? He can still write. I wonder why, and I don't even know if he could, why people wouldn't tap into his writing behind the bars, because he could still write amazingly, and I'm sure he could still put numbers on the board. You don't have to say it's R. Kelly. I wonder why that wasn't a thing, and why people don't go to him for that.
Same reason why, the younger cats don't go to Babyface. Same reason why the younger cats don't go to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Same reason why I can go on and on.
Why?
We have a thing with us where if it just seems or sounds old, we don't tap into it.
You think that with R. Kelly though?
He didn't sound old on that.
I think he sounds old.
Right.
Really?
He's an older artist. He's done it. He's had his time. And to us, the fad chasers, our culture, the what's next or what's now culture is what we are. We don't maintain a tradition. Like there's no way that New Edition or any of our elder statesmen shouldn't have sold out arena tours.
Easily.
Rolling Stones can come back anytime they
Absolutely.
feel like it. Do a sold out tour. Queen, anytime they feel like it. Sold out tour. Paul McCartney can say, I'm going out.
Sold out.
Sold out. We are the only people that separate ourselves from our foundational and our traditional moments and cast it away like it's old. It's no. And that's us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what so when you say why not, like me, I'm like, I gotta get Babyface came to the opening, my opening on Hell's Kitchen, and as I'm looking at it, I'm like, Babyface really pulled up to my opening. Like I got one of the greatest singers, songwriter, producers of all times sitting right here as a friend of mine, and I don't have a record from him. That can't happen again. I can't know him and that not happen.
And I don't understand why. You look at
Hold on.
Quincy Jones.
I want to say something. That's why you got to give people credit like SZA. Babyface produced Snooze.
Yeah.
And you
Absolutely.
see how big Snooze is.
Absolutely.
So when you get an OG like that who
Yeah.
gets with a super talented youngin',
Yeah.
you see what can come about.
Those
But
are the results.
I think that the artist, because SZA is like I'm not surprised that SZA, she understands and her you know what I mean? Like there's
But
certain
it
artists
wasn't
who,
on purpose either, so there's that.
What do you mean?
Okay.
'Cause he
What was
did
They
that
were
for
in a
Beyonce.
room making something, and she
Oh.
heard, and there was a thing where it would just people
didn't
in the
reach
right
out. She
place
just happened
in the
to see
right
it,
just
right.
happened to
time.
hear. Okay, because
Right
I was
place, right
gonna
time,
say I
yeah.
think sometimes too it's about like who the artist is, because there are some artists who like understand, you know what I mean, like Babyface and like the moment you had that are younger, but then other artists are chasing the producers that are making things that go viral on the TikToks, or the reels are created too because their labels. Back to you saying that they're not doing their jobs have shifted where that's all you're looking at. So if you don't have those metrics, you're not doing your job. But you might be the artist that's like, yo, Babyface needs to be in this studio.
There's no reason why I don't have songs with Babyface.
It's the truth. And I was saying, like, even you look at Quincy Jones. What age was Quincy Jones when he was doing all that stuff for Michael?
He was
He was
50.
older.
He was
Yeah,
50.
yeah.
But that's my point.
Made the greatest album of all
Yeah,
time.
he was 50.
When he produced Thriller, he was 50.
And that's
But
my point.
imagine the information he was able to impart to Michael Jackson because of everything that he had done and everything that he had seen. You know what I'm saying? Like, Michael, this is great, but if we just take this two moments and just move these things right over here, you'll trust me, you're going to love it. Like when he talked about the intro. We can't kill that, Michael. That's the call out. Michael wanted to kill
He
it.
wanted to kill it, yeah.
What do we do? As soon as it come on, oh, shit. That's Quincy Jones. And so, and in my mind, I'm looking at Babyface like, my Quincy Jones. How do I not tap into that? How do I not ensure this level of greatness somehow pours over into what I'm doing?
I would have loved to hear Quincy, have heard Quincy on R&B Money podcast. Man. Him and Clarence Avant, by the way. But
Man, it's that information that we need that needs to continue to pass down. And that's our job. We're the bridge. We want to be the bridge. Like we tell all the young cats all the time, hey, we rocking with you. Whatever you need from us. And then we tell the older cats, like when we had Smokey Robinson, we was like, we're coming to your house. We're coming over. We want to talk to you. Like, you did it. Like, you talk about building something.
Yeah.
Build an entire franchise on his back. Writing and producing.
Yeah.
So we got the R&B Awards with Charlamagne and iHeart.
Black Effect and iHeart. We doing it.
And iHeart
That's right.
have committed to. Now we're going somewhere.
So what were your thoughts when you seen how, I will say, he was disrespected at the award show when he was doing an interview and they was like, okay, this next.
The AP News moment.
Oh, with Babyface.
With Babyface, yeah, I'm talking Babyface when he was on the carpet.
You know, I definitely thought it was disrespectful, but I don't think it was consciously disrespectful. I think that no one's teaching people how to do things anymore. They're just throwing them out there, right? Because if you're on that red carpet, you have to know who, right? You have to know who people are. Right, in this music business, right? But then two, you also have to know how to conduct yourself, right? These are the things you do. These are the things you don't do, and that was just a thing. That was just kind of like host 101. You don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't. You're not ever talking to somebody. Yeah, and so how do you fit? 1 second, can you? Nobody's teaching her.
No.
Nobody taught her. It's not her fault. I'm sure she didn't get fired. She didn't know. Well, production told me to. Like, so it's a disconnect.
Right.
You know what I mean? We aren't having those hard lessons in those classes. Like, I went to media training.
Oh, we from the School of Hard Knocks, so we get it.
I'm media training, so I know both sides of it. I know being on this side. I know being on your side. And these people aren't being trained, man, and they're getting thrown out there and put in these positions to where they look bad. I don't think she meant to do anything on purpose.
But once again, you talking about a budget. You said media training. Artists, they not giving artists, man, spending no money on media training nowadays.
Anybody,
Media
like if you're bringing somebody in to represent your brand, Black Effect, like you want to know two things. First, okay, what do you do? How do you do it? Okay, and then are you trained to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Because there are things that are going to arise that you have to be prepared for. There are moments they're going to have. What would you do in this situation? Mm-hmm. Let's have some scenario training. Let's have somebody get really boisterous in the room and see how you handle it.
So, Tank, remember when you was on the Breakfast Club and you talked about getting your ass eaten about 10 years ago?
I don't mind putting my legs up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's okay.
So you don't mind tongue action is what you're saying?
I don't mind.
Okay.
You don't mind getting your ass eaten?
Yeah, not at all.
Man,
are you kidding me? Come on, man. Come on,
Finally,
man.
brothers in here keeping it 100.
Get up in here.
We ain't got to see, Tank. We ain't got to
Put your
see.
legs down.
Put your
Tank, I try to tell them all the
in here.
time, if a girl eats your ass, you can never talk bad about you.
You gotta have your hands free just in case she get tricky.
Get them fingers out the way. There you go.
Get up.
If somebody brings that up now in 2025 and they say, Tank, do you enjoy getting your ass eating? How do you respond?
I would say that was the old me. You know, you know, when I was younger, you know, I enjoy things and said how I enjoy things a little bit too out loud.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Some of those things should have been a lot more quiet. But you know, I think I was baited. I think Charlamagne baited me. He was he baited me.
I think he baited you.
You should give a little fake chuckle after the question is that. After the question is asked, do a little fake chuckle, then give the answer.
Oh, they owed me. I was so wild back then.
Yeah. See? That's media training.
That is.
Because people still bring that up, but I think you handle it well. They do.
So there will be a follow-up question probably from the co-host.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not going to just let it go.
Here's the other thing, too, is that, you know, anything that has been put out there, anything that I've put out there, I'm able to stand on it. Mm-hmm. Period. You know
and
what I mean?
You found your tribe. You found a tribe.
I have lived, and I have lived in front of the world for all of them to see. Mm-hmm. So I don't really have any secrets. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So those things don't scare me. I'm not rattled by those things. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's that part of it. But I do know how to divert if need be.
I said that because I was going to big you up for when it was brought up not too long ago. You used it as a moment to talk about like homophobia in the Black community, and like that created a powerful conversation. And I was like, I don't know if he did that on purpose.
Oh, it really did come back?
It did come back up. It was who were you talking to? It was. We talked about it in here. We did it in Jess With The Mess.
Oh,
you were talking to The
Big Court.
holding court.
Yeah, Big Court. My guy, Big Court.
Who's the court?
But the conversation that it created, I don't know if you saw the conversation. I know you be online though, like you be seeing some things.
Yeah.
It had people really having a conversation about men being able to be like vulnerable and just have conversations anywhere they want to, and black men specifically.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, was that the media training? Was that like? No,
that was just real. I mean, that's just what I believe. But I also believe that you can't really have intelligent conversations online.
100%.
You know what I mean? So as he and I were having that conversation, like we were having a real conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of going back and forth online, trying to get something very thought-provoking across, it never works.
It don't.
You'll never win that.
Also, I think people forget the comedian Tank era.
Yes.
When Tank was on stage doing actual comedy.
Yes.
So a lot of that was jokes.
I don't
When
know
you was
that
cocking your
era.
legs up in the chair, you was just joking.
What, you going back to a gag?
No,
As the co-host
you know what
goes
I
back
mean.
to it.
Everybody's so serious. It's not that serious,
Yeah.
man. Have some fun, man. Relax. You see me. Every time you see me, I got a smile on my face and I'm having a good time because I don't take this stuff too seriously, man. What I take seriously is when I get in that studio, when I get on that stage.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I'm serious. Outside of that, man, I'm having the time of my life.
Why Broadway right now? Because you are featured in Alicia Keys' Hell's Kitchen. Why?
And it's timing, bro. Because for me, 2025 was the hard pivot into acting. You know, the music thing has been so much of my bread and butter and so much of my focus for so long. I was like, I got to get to the other thing that I love. And Mack had always been telling me, bro, you're going to have to make a hard pivot in order to really do it the right way. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And with 2025 coming in the way that it did and having a free moment and opportunity, I'd always heard horror stories about Broadway. You know what I mean? Just in terms of the workload.
And the pay.
The pay, the facility, all of that. And I was like, yeah, I'll probably never do Broadway. And then we get this call from Alicia, like, hey, Alicia's looking for you to do Hell's Kitchen. I'm like, what? And I'm like, the name Alicia Keys is already like, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta at least see what that's about, right? And so he sent some papers over for me to look at, and I'm like, okay, I'm looking at it. I'm like, all right, I'll go see. You know what I mean? Just out of respect for that name itself.
So you went to go watch the play before you?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you saw when Brandon V. Dixon was playing. Okay.
Well, he wasn't there.
All right.
His sub was in.
Got you.
Who's dope as well. And I watched the play, and I fell in love with it. And the next day was actually my walk-in audition, and so I kind of knew where I needed to be. And at that point, it was just like, I think it's time. I think it is answered the question for me. I you know what I mean? Me and Lulu were talking, my manager Lulu was talking to me, he's like, it just does something different for you, brother. It just does something really different. And in deliberating, I was just deliberating, like, is this the time to like just take a hard left? And out of nowhere, Mack calls me. We hadn't talked to in a minute. And he's like, what's going on, bro? I'm like, nothing, just chilling. He wanted to come to my Atlantic City show. I'm like, oh, I got you. Love. I said, let me ask you a question. I got this on the table right now. And he said, what the fuck are we talking about? I said, well, I'm asking you, you don't need my opinion. You know what you're supposed to do. There was that, and here I am. And so, when I sat with Alicia the other day, her and Adam Blackstone, and she was like, Tank, I just felt like it was you. She's like, I didn't know why. She's like, to me, it just felt like it was you. And she's like, I didn't even know if you could act. And I was like, wow, you ain't seen me on Lifetime or BET, you know what I'm saying, or TV One. I'm the Denzel of that space. You know what I'm saying? I'm the Denzel of that space. You ain't seen none of that? But she had never seen me act. And she was like, and then when I saw you in the audition, she was like, I was just blown away. And I was like, no, that's what I do. Singing that's whatever. And so she and I went back and forth, singing back and forth, her, singing her amazing catalog. And I debuted on Tuesday. And so now it's like,
how
now
tough
it's
is it?
real.
How tough is it, the rehearsals, and do you have to shut everything else off? And do you get time for yourself now? Because it just seems like doesn't stop.
I'm a machine. So I'm a routine guy. You know what I mean? So I'm going to get up, help get the kids to school, do cardio, eat, go to the gym, do the second lift, go to the studio, either work on music or do pod, get back, eat dinner with the family, get some wife time in, and the next day do the same thing. I'm a machine. I'm built like that. So Broadway schedule works perfect for who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 8 shows a week.
Crazy.
That's where it get different
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, they call it, you know, you have an A show, a B show, and a C show in terms of how you perform. I've never been able to do a B show and feel good about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because all of those people, whether it's a Wednesday or Saturday, they spent their money to see something great.
Mm-hmm.
They spent their money to see somebody go all out. So I'm doing A shows from Tuesday to Sunday. And we got one day off, that's Monday. And right back to it.
Jesus.
What's your rest day like on a Monday? Like, are you vocally
I don't know.
resting or you don't?
You haven't done it
This,
yet.
I just
yeah,
debuted.
you just started Tuesday.
So I'm going to have my first Monday next Monday.
What's your plans?
Nothing. Go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? Eat some cool food somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe get with Charlamagne and iHeart and talk about this
Let's do it.
R&B awards.
There you go.
What about the family? Like, cause you,
Family was just here. They came for
Okay.
the for the debut. My mom and them came up.
Mhm.
Wife Zoe and Zion came up, and it was really cool, man.
13 weeks is a long time to be away from the family, especially if you got a routine like you say.
It's tougher for them than it is for me,
Mhm.
because for me, I'm hyper focused. I'm in it,
Mhm.
and I have something to do every day, something to look forward to, and so the wife is at home doing the kid thing and all that. But that's why that's what it's a team.
That's what marriage is about.
She holds that down. I'm gonna hold this down.
Mm-hmm.
But this to me is was the opportunity for people in that space to understand that I'm serious about going here. Kevin was in town the other day, so I went and saw him and chopped it up with him, and he was like, "I'm really, really proud of you for making this move. This says a lot about the next level of where you can go and who you can be." And so that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm loving, like, all the horror stories that they told me about Broadway. They lied to me. They were trying to keep me out of here.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want
What
me in
stories
this
did you hear?
space.
What are the horror
Just we were
stories?
talking, just the
You
pay,
hear
the
rough
facility, the
things about
workload,
it.
and all these things. Oh yeah, Tech, that's not for you. You're
But
not.
you loving it.
Oh man,
I think it's a different day and age as far as like work rules and stuff, but also too, I don't know if this is true, but I would feel like because you're Tank, you're coming into it a little bit differently, where like they can't really play around with certain people too much. No,
I don't know. Because of course, this is my first time doing it,
Right.
and I think as Tank, I'm always going to be received differently, but I haven't asked to be treated differently. Where they would maybe try to make concessions for me and certain things, like, no, I don't want that. I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to do that. Like, as soon as I walked in, I'm like, hey guys, coach me hard. Like, don't handle me with kid gloves. Like, I'm an athlete first. You know what I'm saying? Like let's cuss. Let's really get into the shit of how this shit works. You know what I'm saying? And let's really grind it out. Like, don't treat me like don't do that.
Right.
And so once we establish that, we got to work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want none of that preferential treatment, nigga. I'm new to Broadway, so I'm here to learn your ways, not vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I kind of introduce myself into the situation. And once you do that, everybody they can be and do what they're supposed to do to get me where I need to be part of something great.
Now this is interesting because I remember on the R&B Money podcast one time you said Jamie Foxx had to keep you from quitting music.
Yeah,
And the way you in here talking about acting right now, you
Yeah.
sound like you got a new boo.
got it. In love, cuddling, cuddling, feet to feet.
So
You
music
understand?
got to go to the side, or like you don't love music no more, do you, Tank?
I absolutely love music.
You don't love the music business.
For me, the music business is amazing,
Okay.
but it's not all that I do.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so, the thing about me, like, I even retiring at one point was just, I couldn't find, in losing my hearing and getting vertigo, I felt like I was running out of time. And there was so many other things I wanted to do, many other things that I loved that I wanted to get to. And then I was just blessed with the age-old concept of time management. Simple. It sounds simple, but it's not. You know what I mean? And so it's like, okay, cool. For these 3 months, this is all I'll be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Will I be leaving a lot of money on the table? Absolutely. But will I be growing? Absolutely.
And positioning yourself very well. I think I haven't seen it, but I can imagine you on Broadway. But just because of how your voice is
When are you guys coming?
I love Broadway. I'm coming.
I'm definitely
in the
coming.
next week or so.
Well, I have 8 shows a week. I'm only off on Monday, so
Me and the wife will be there.
whenever you guys want to
Serious.
come, we'll
I love Broadway.
we'll
Last
set it
Broadway
up for
play
you.
I saw was Stephanie Mills was on Broadway. She was on I forgot what the show was
I
called.
don't remember.
But I saw Stephanie Mills on Broadway.
Yeah,
She was amazing.
you're gonna love it. Bring your kids.
Yeah. Okay. Say no
Please.
more.
80s Town.
I take my kids all through. Lions King, the Michael Jackson, whatever the kid-friendly Broadway plays. I
Michael
bring the
Jackson
whole
was
family.
incredible.
My 17-year-old daughter and my 10-year-old son had the time
Really?
of their lives. In this play, Alicia is 17.
Mhm.
So it's really it really meets these kids where they are.
I love it.
It's incredible. My daughter was crying, and I was like, it was a thing. And, coming out afterwards and seeing so many kids and signing autographs for kids. You know what I mean? One of our stars in the play, Keisha, she had a acting school, these students that she works with that came up from New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And these are kids, and they loved every minute of it. For me, I'm like, any high school in this New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, in this area, they should be having a field trip to see Hell's Kitchen. To me, it is that impactful of a moment for young kids to see that are aspiring to do anything.
That's what it is.
So you
know
got
what I
shows
mean?
tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. We got to get Tank out of here.
Check out Tank at Hell's Kitchen. We appreciate
Hold on,
you for joining us too,
one
man.
more thing too.
Yeah.
Saturday, April 26th is the 3rd annual Black Effect Podcast Festival.
Yeah.
Can you make it?
Huh?
Can you make it?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
Saturday. Tank and Jay Valentine are gonna be there.
I'll be there. I got one day off.
That's right.
Oh, that's okay. Just making sure.
One day.
What, have y'all thought about what that's gonna look like live? R&B Money podcast on stage?
Nope. We're thinking about it though.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be sexy. You know what I'm saying?
y'all gonna be singing?
Cause I've been hearing rumors of who the guest are.
I'm gonna be there. Y'all gonna be singing. I've seen you in person.
How come we can't do the pod? How come I gotta sing?
You said it's
How
gonna be
come we
sexy,
gotta
so I
sing?
just was wondering because I've seen you when you came back after you said you were retiring. You did something at the Peppermint Club, and Jamie Foxx was there, and y'all.
That's my
performed.
album release. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
there with the label, and
Yeah.
it was my first time seeing you. I was like, oh,
Oh, okay.
like,
You were there? Oh,
yeah, I was
crazy.
there with Fairly.
Okay. Yeah.
But so y'all gonna be singing?
Why he gotta
Right,
sing?
right.
You don't have to. I
Doing
just
a
wanted
podcast,
to.
ma'am.
Yeah, he sings on the podcast.
I
He
do.
sings
I
a
do
lot
sing
on the podcast.
If the spirit moves him.
If it moves me, then I
Amen.
promise you.
I feel like Atlanta God be moving a lot of things.
Yeah,
down
we
there.
gotta figure out what that's going, because this will be our first time doing it. Like we do.
This is your first time doing it live?
Well, we've done R&B live,
Okay,
R&B
okay.
Money live, the event where it's been strictly catered, where it's band, DJ, karaoke vibes, like really, really dope. We've done that up in Phoenix at Stadium at one of my guys' 2 spot. So we've done that.
But this is for people who like the podcast and enjoy the conversation.
Exactly. So this is pod and conversation. So in terms of trying to figure out what makes ours a little different, you know what I mean? We're still formulating that.
Well, Saturday, April 26th, 3rd annual Black Effect
right.
Podcast Festival. Go get your tickets, blackeffect.com/podcast festival. Make sure you check out Tank in Hell's Kitchen with
right.
Alicia Keys on Broadway right now.
And we appreciate you, brother.
I'm reporting on y'all, man. If y'all don't show up.
I'm pulling up. I go to Broadway all the
Definitely.
time. That's one of my.
Definitely.
I enjoy Broadway.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I go to-
And when I'm not here, you know what I'm saying? I still want to hear somebody say, "Have you seen Hell's Kitchen? Did you go? Did you? Don't make me tell Alicia in Swiss.
We'll be there.
Good job.
And make sure you subscribe to the R&B Money Podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio Podcast Network.
That's
man.
right. It's Tank, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.